Okay. In our parasha, we find that when Aaron the Kohen lost his two sons under Nevi'u, so Vayidom Ahaorn, Aaron was silent. Interesting expression. On the one hand, on a simple level, a person, Komarna son, he experiences a tragedy, doesn't complain, doesn't take things, doesn't, he sort of processes it, he moves on. That's on a simple level. Just what can you say? Well, we don't really understand so well. We understand that this is something that's necessary. We can understand a little bit of why it's necessary, but all of these things are very, very profound. What's going on with Neshamas? We're soon going to be, right, we can say Lano soon, right, Rosh Chodesh Nisan, from Nisan usually. Of course, Mishnah says it's not specifically Nisan, you can do it any time. But from the Kabbalistic perspective, you're supposed to do Dafka, Rosh Chodesh Nisan if possible.
Do what exactly?
Because say Lanos. You say a bracha, you find a tree that's beginning to flower, and you say a bracha, right, starting to sprout, and that's usually the normal time. So the Kabbalists explain that there's things that happen with neshamas that's very, very, inscrutable, even, we would say. So there's things that happen that's very, very inscrutable. It's hard to even really grasp what's going on. What's really happening is something completely different than what it looks like on table. Like a person can be driven inside to do things or to go places to make things happen. It feels like it's very right. It feels like this is what he needs. This is what he's, and he doesn't realize that's because that's how you pick up sparks. That's how you fix what you have to fix, what you can fix in the world. And we were saying before about Gittin, you have this Bechin of Tikkun Olam. This Inyan, the Inyan of Tikkun Olam doesn't mean people have divorced it from the Inyan, from its reality. The Inyan of what Tikkun Olam is to fix our disconnect from Hashem. It's not just, be a nice guy, bop around, and fix the world. That's not what it's about. It's about fixing our connection to our fellow, but also to Hashem. What we really are, who we really are. So even though every good thing we do is an internal connection to Hashem, like the Ramchal says, he says a person who, it sounds like even a non-Jew. Nachman says it explicitly, but he says a person who has something good, did something good in their whole life, some positive. He said there's an unbreakable eternal connection to Hashem. That's like eternal sustenance for the soul, Muslim for the neshama. He said being a Jew means you can't blow it. For sure you can do something. That's why the Poshei Sovelim, Karimo, and even the sinners of Israel filled with mitzvahs like pomegranate, filled with seeds. But we have to also fix the things we messed up. Most we do that with tshuva. The Gaon says we do it also very much in many other sources say through Yisurin, doing things in pain and difficulty, and that's how we fix things, even though they're very difficult at the time. As one, one wants Yisurin, right? Lahim Lizkar, right? Most normal people are not interested in Yisurin, but nevertheless, that's the way it goes. Every day there's something comes up, and every day things are difficult. And you have to learn how to navigate and deal with that. So what does that mean? So what that means is that part of the process of Yisurin is even after a person passes away, there are stages he has to reach before coming back, if he needs to come back to fix things. Most of us are going, we're back. So there are 3 stages before you actually come back in a human place. Yeah, there are three stages. So stage number 1 is the inyan of a person being stuck. I don't know I heard one person says it's a good marshal. He's like, have you ever been stuck in an elevator? So you get stuck in a rock. You're not animating the rock or something. You're just caught. You're in this little place, and whatever happens to the rock happens. So you're gonna need to be uplifted eventually from this miserable situation, from a rock to some growing thing, and from a growing thing to a creature, animal, or bird, or something. Hopefully, kosher animal, right? And then from that, you want to move on to Madaber. So there are specific months, 4 months a year. It's only 3 stages, right? You start out, generally, the worst a person can start out is in this like inanimate object, and then slowly moves on to being different aspects, right? So the time to move from chai to medaber, from a living thing to being a person, where that time is ending now. This year, the souls had to move from Rosh Chodesh Kislev, Teves, Shvat, and Adar. That's when the souls get to move in transit. This year there was an extra year like that. From an animal to a speaking person, right? From Rosh Chodesh Nisan, Iyar, Sivan, Tammuz, it goes from a growing thing to an animal or a bird. That's the time when you have that ability to move on. And then the other 4 months of the year, right, which are Tammuz. Not Tammuz. We said Tammuz already. Tammuz was the end of moving from growing to an animal from growing to an animal or bird, right? So from Av, Elul, Tishrei, Cheshvan, that's the time you move from inanimate to a growing thing, right? So the inyan of doing B'ksei Lanos that we do, right? We're going to be doing soon enough. This inyan of on Rosh Chodesh, saying the bracha, right? That's about uplifting, picking up. You can pick up this growing thing. At the very beginning, this growing thing into an animal or bird, right? That's what we're doing, man. There's actually a diyun this year. I believe Rosh Chodesh comes out on Shabbos, and it's actually discussed in the post game. Can you make this bracha on Shabbos since you're picking up souls? According to the Kabbalah, according to the Kabbalah, you're picking up a soul from that's the beginning. You get the ball rolling, as it were. So maybe it's borer. It's a discussion. No, it's much discussion. The Ben Ish Chai says, he says what? That every mitzvah you do is also creating a malach. Maybe that's bonet. He's like, maybe you're like, Alama. It's a spiritual thing. It's not the same thing. He Tainez. There's all discussions. It's a discussion. He says maybe it should be borer every time you do, because every bracha you say is also clarifying sparks. Maybe it should be a problem of borer, because you're clarifying sparks. You're separating. He said, no, you're separating one min from the other min. It's not the difference between. There's a whole discussion. The bottom line is, it's pretty straightforward, that there's no reason why you should. This is a spiritual thing. It's nothing to do. It's not dome. It's not at all like the Mishkan, whatever's happening here. So maybe it's something that happens. It's something that happens. The example they bring is the Mishnah says you're going to charm an animal. It's not called trapping. Trapping is like they trap the Mishkan. You can play. I don't know if you can play your pipes exactly, but you can charm an animal if you have a different way of charming an animal, like getting it mesmerized and making it stay in its place. You can do that, no problem. Just because you feel like it. But it's not doing the Mishkan. It's not like the Mishkan was, where you trapped an animal or trapped a creature to use it. Right? So it's totally different. So anyway, B'kitzur, what's the point of all this? The point of all this is that there's a very, very long journey, very complicated journey that happens. And a big part of this journey is just different suffering. Being in Iraq. It's no fun. Time to think. That's what Nassim says. He says, even when a person reaches the level of an animal, listen, the reason why he's an animal is because, like my friend, you know what I mean? You acted like an animal. Well, here you go. Didn't use your speech. Okay, well, you have a problem. Now you're able to figure it out. Even less than an animate person, even without any, who knows what. That's how he acted, where he was. So, the Vayidom Ahaorn, first of all, on a simple level, in the face of suffering, a person just accepts it, understands it. It's part of the way Hashem wants the world to be. And where's your contract? Where's your contract for that? What you want? That things has to go according to plan. Very often things do not go according to plan. That's correct. That's right. So Lo Kaseder. Nachman talks about it. Some people look Lo Kaseder. Our job is to make things Kaseder. But there's a Lo Kaseder here. Things don't seem to line up the way they should, and we have to work on making it so. By yearning, by davening, by learning, by doing all the good things. But the Komarna gives us another dimension to this. Vayidom Ahaorn. He said, I was always moving up in different levels of dveykus, of connection to Hashem. So I went up and up, higher and higher and higher. He said, at a certain point, he said, when it came for Vayidom Ahaorn, it means he stopped moving. Because he experienced the pain. Then he kept moving again. And that's a very important lesson. I don't remember which Rebbe it was. It's a very, very big Admor. I think in America. I just can't remember what it was. He had a very nice base medrash with a nice old source for like a nice library, and I think the whole thing burnt down. They say whatever they say it's for Torah and it's fine, what they could say more or less. Let's say, right? The whole place got all burnt up, whatever it was. It was very, very unnerving and unpleasant. The Rebbe was very broken. He really, he was crying. Oh, the house is not like vital. The whole place is inferno. So then he invited his chassidim, and they went to his house, or whatever it was, or wherever they went, and he had someone buy ticket, and he said, L'chaim. He was like, see, Baruch Hashem. Like, it's amazing, So one of the chassidim was looking, he was like, I don't know, he didn't see the big debate, even when it happened, he was under a lot of tzar. And then he's like, now we have to thank Hashem, and we appreciate it. So from Hashem, it's what you need, it's how you need. And it seems so strange because this chassid, like, I don't understand if that was your feeling. So why were you so broken? Why did you react? And you were so tearful and so upset, so pain. You don't understand. It's min hashamayim. But you have to feel you have to experience what's happening. You can't just pretend it's not happening. So that's not. It's not. It happened because that's the tikkun. So you have to take it. That's the beginning of Vayidom Ahaorn. He said the end of Vayidom Ahaorn is that Aaron stopped his spiritual climbing, his dynamic spiritual climbing, in order to get to his place of feeling and accepting bracha. Feeling and accepting the union of what he went through. Then he started moving back. That's another deeper level of Vayidom Ahaorn. It's a really, really important level of like trying to be present, not to try to abdicate responsibility, and not trying to get out of what we need to do. So that was actually a little bit about shechita also, because of shechting the animal and dealing with the different inyanim. The of shechting the animal. Why do I shech this animal? What this animal like? What am I doing? The person, there's an neshama in the animal, and I want to pick it up, and he will use his koyach. So you shech him mamish in the place where you're uplifting. You uplift the kosher animal by shechting the place where you should have spoken, saying a bracha and picking him up. That's also a very big kavanah. Now, instead of a person, you have to know. He said, imagine you going to this animal. There's this person with his white beard and knows what he went through, and he's like, fix me. If you don't make the bracha right, you don't have the right kavanah, you're just like, just doing my job. He says, it's not so good. That's not the way you fix him. You fix him by having the right kavanah, but doing the way you should. So that's the thing. It's the beginning of Vayidom Ahaorn. A person has to know. He has to kind of take in what happens. Not let it necessarily break him, but feel it, and then move on. That was done by Ahaorn, and that's a part of the shvach of what Ahaorn was about. And every person, when there's a tzar, a person's supposed to take it in, process it, experience it, and move forward. Not pretend it didn't happen, and then it just hurts more and hurts more and hurts more. And it's like something, this deep difficulty. That's not what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to have this beginning of holding, and then moving forward. Hashem shows to all the big oiras and all the big inyanim of picking up and uplifting, learning how to use the tzar to connect to Hashem, and just totally connected to Hashem. Yichud Shalom.